Good day everyone. Today we are going to report the life of Dr. Jose Rizal in Dapitan. Dr. Jose Rizal was detained on July 6, 1892 for reportedly carrying a pamphlet with the satirical title Pobres Frailes. It was supposedly discovered in Lucia's pillowcase, Rizal's sister. He denied it, but it became the prime mover of his new normal life until his execution. On July 14, 1892, Dr. Jose Rizal was bound to go to Dapitan, and on July 17, 1892, he arrived at Dapitan riding the ferry boat Cebu, while carrying the letter if he can stay in the parish from the superior of the Jesuit Society of the Philippines, Father Pablo Pastas. In the letter, there are 3 conditions that Rizal need to follow, but he did not agree with it. So he lived with Ricardo Carnicero, the one who offered him a home. On September 21, 1892, Rizal, Carnicero, and Icolor won in Manila lottery, and the prize is about 20,000 pesos. They divided it into 3, and each of them has 6,200 pesos. Rizal gave his 2,000 pesos to his father and 200 pesos for his friend in Hong Kong, and the rest of his money was invested to buy a piece of land in Talisay to build his own house. And on March 1893, Rizal House was completed. As Rizal stays in Dapitan, he became a teacher and a physician. When he became a teacher, he built a pupil's classroom, which is the Casa Quadrada. And when he became a physician, he also made a clinic that was named Casa Redonda. He also became a businessman and a scientist. He discovered some new species animals like Draco rizali, a flying dragon, Apollonia rizali, a small beetle, and Racopurus, a rare frog. All the new animal species that he discovered was named after him. He also met his wife there, Josephine Brocken. They fall in love to each other and had a child but died after its birth. Josephine Brocken was not really from Dapitan. He just visited there because her stepfather was in need of medical attention, and they searched for Rizal. Rizal received offers from Cuba as a medical doctor. It was granted, but Rizal returned to the Philippines because of revolutionary attack.
When Rizal was in Dapitan, he made work such as being a teacher to the young people. It was 1893 when he built a school and started with only 3 pupils, but in time it increases to 16. He did not charge them tuition fees, but instead, Rizal made them work in his farm and help in the community projects. Rizal taught the children on how to read, learn languages, and about history, Spanish, mathematics, about plants, and etc. Rizal also helped the sick by building a clinic. He studied about medical plants and their curative values in the Philippines. He prescribed local medicines to the sick people and did not accept any fees. There is one Englishman who had cataracts and it was removed from his eye, so he paid Rizal 500 pesos. This money was used in putting lamps in the Dapitan streets. Rizal's another work is his businesses. In Dapitan, he made many businesses such as farming, where he has animals and plants and sells it. He has businesses of lumber, copra, and hemp. He also do fishing and he is a merchant there in Dapitan. And while being in Dapitan, he discovered some species of animals. It was a flying dragon called Draco rizali, then a small beetle called Apollonia rizali, and a rare frog called Acophorus rizali. These species animals were named after him. This is Rizal being a teacher, Rizal being a doctor, Rizal being a farmer, And these were the species of animals that Rizal has discovered: the Drachyrizale, Apollonia rizale, and the Rhacophorus rizale.
Important part of Dapitan in the life of Dr. Rizal. For 33 long years, we were colonized by the Spaniards. Filipinos for a long time endured all the different abuses that they went through in the hands of the Spanish and saw how the Spanish administered the Philippines. Eventually, Filipinos got disgusted with how the Spanish treated them that they started a revolt. Dr. Rizal is one of the most renowned individuals in Philippine history. His political writings spurred the Philippine Revolt and ultimately resulted to his assassination by the Spanish invaders, making him a versatile intellectual and political activist who is most recognized for his political writings. In addition to being a doctor, Rizal had his training in ophthalmology from two eminent European eye specialists, Louis de Wecker and Otto Baker. Additionally, Dr. Rizal is among the Filipinos that time who stood up for the Filipinos and for our country throughout his writings about how the Spaniards abused their power and how they oppressed the Filipinos in their own land. Dr. Rizal was arrested for it. He was sent to the taken Dapitan to pay for his lapses and for being against the Spanish government. Despite being arrested, Dr. Rizal still continued his pursuits. While in Dapitan, he practiced medicine and had many patients, in which most of them were poor. His effort to his writings overturned their abuses and domination of the Spanish in our nation, resulted in his execution. But the Filipinos were much more affected by his killing. The country's revolution against the Spanish government was ignited by it. The public execution of Rizal brought the Filipinos together and helped Philippines retain its power. His martyrdom did play a significant role in the Filipino people's quest for the independence that we now enjoy today. Additionally, Dr. Rizal is among the Filipinos that time who stood up for the Filipinos and for our country throughout his writings about how the Spaniards abused their power and how they oppressed the Filipinos in their own land. Dr. Rizal was arrested for it. He was sent to the taken Dapitan to pay for his lapses and for being against the Spanish government. Despite being arrested, Dr. Rizal still continued his pursuits. While in Dapitan, he practiced medicine and had many patients, in which most of them were poor. His effort to his writings overturned their abuses and domination of the Spanish in our nation, resulted in his execution. But the Filipinos were much more affected by his killing. The country's revolution against the Spanish government was ignited by it. The public execution of Rizal brought the Filipinos together and helped Philippines retain its power. His martyrdom did play a significant role in the Filipino people's quest for the independence that we now enjoy today.
Good day everyone, I am Robelyn D. Beringo and I am going to tackle about the learnings that we can get from the life of Dr. Jose Rizal in Dapitan. So here we go. First, sacrificing is a must. Rizal lived a frugal life, including going hungry at meals to pay rent and skipping outings to complete his medical education. As a student or an individual, I live a life wherein I need to budget my money, since aside from being not rich, we are also raised by our parents with a lot of lessons about the importance of sacrificing for a certain goal, not just for ourselves, but also for the people around us. Because of that, lack of financial means is not a hindrance to helping and becoming a successful person, just like Dr. Jose Rizal. There's a virtue in giving. Even though he won the lottery in Dapitan, he used all of his winnings to build light and water infrastructure, as well as a school for fellow citizens where he taught and provided free medical care. It is evident that Dr. Rizal is such a generous man who has a heart that loves to help people, especially in education and medical aspects. As a citizen of our country, the Philippines, that all of us are fortunate in life, and that is true. We have to help each other because no man is an island. In addition, since being good and responsible Filipino, we have to be aware of how we can make a difference to someone else's life by helping and showing care for others for a better society, becoming an inspiration to a lot of people. It is not a surprise that the people in Dapitan cared very much for Dr. Rizal when he left. Our hero helped and inspired the people in Dapitan. Rizal reminds us that no matter who or what we are, we can still make good differences despite obstacles. We should not be scared because we are all capable of helping. We should not limit ourselves to the things around us. We have the power to inspire others in many ways. As students, we have the ability to become role models for a lot of young people around us. Personally, I used to encourage not just my colleagues, but also those young individuals to become good influences on one another and do things according to what is right. By that, we can make an impact on society as a whole. Make every situation productive. Even if Rizal was in exile in Dapitan, he was still able to make a situation productive. This may remind us that whatever lifestyle we may have, we are still capable of doing anything. We can make a difference even in the smallest and simplest ways. Just like Rizal, we should not lock ourselves in a box. Our hero managed to do good things even though he was in exile. In life, we have different purposes and goals to achieve. To help our country prosper, we must first help ourselves by being productive and beginning to work according to the plan. We use time for productivity. And for the last, use your time to the fullest. Rizal spent much of his time in self-improvement via self-education. Not only he was busy academically, but he also learned sculpture, painting, and languages, including German, and kept up with the latest conversations globally in philosophy and science. Even in exile in Dapitan, he used his time to catalog the local animal kingdom and plants to share with fellow revolutionists. Just like Dr. Rizal, I applied to myself the practice of valuing each moment with fruitful improvements and results. Being flexible in molding yourself into many things is also exploring new things and learning from those experiences. We only live once, so one must live life and use time to the fullest. You too can take a leaf from his life and become a better version of yourself every day. So that will be all for the learnings that we can get from the life of Dr. Jose Rizal in Dapitan. So I am now passing the spot to the next and last reporter, Miss Oriana Cabaluna, for her topic.
Good day everyone. So I'll be discussing the last part of our topic. Though this was already discussed by our first reporter, I would like to elaborate on it, especially the personal and characters mentioned in this topic. So let's discuss. Rizal carried a letter from the superior of the Jesuit Society of the Philippines, Father Pablo Pastas, to be given to the Jesuit parish priest in Dapitan, his Father Antonio Ubak. But who is Father Antonio Ubak and Father Pablo Pastas? Father Pablo Pastas was the Jesuit priest who attempted to convince Jose Rizal to return to the Orthodox Roman Catholicism through letters. Father Antonio Ubak, on the other hand, was from Catalonia, Spain, and was considered a greatly loved and revered priest by the people of Dapitan. In the letter, the superior said that Rizal could stay and live in the parish, but there are conditions provided. So what are these conditions? First is Rizal publicly retracted the errors concerning religion and made statements that were clearly pro-Spanish and against revolution. And he performs the church rites and make a general confession of his past life. The third one is that henceforth he conducted himself in an exemplary manner as a Spanish subject and a man of religion. But Rizal did not agree with these conditions. Therefore, Rizal decided to stay at the place of Captain Ricardo Carnicero. He met Ricardo Carnicero, who offered him to live either in his house or at Jesuit mission house. But who is Captain Ricardo Carnicero? Captain Ricardo Carnicero is a politico-military commander of the district. Captain Carnicero, who is the warden assigned to look after Rizal. Thus, Rizal was given freedom to go anywhere and even permitted to cultivate the land near the plaza. Later on, Captain Carnicero was delighted with Rizal's fine personality, and so Rizal also admired kind and generous Spanish captain. Rizal wrote his impression about the kind commandant in his poem, Don Ricardo Carnicero, on the occasion of his birthday on August 26, 1892. Their warm friendship was also be illustrated when both of them together with a Spanish resident in the prologue, Francisco Equilior, bought a lottery ticket number 9736, which they won. So that morning on September 21, 1892, the sleepy town of Dapitan was bursting with excitement when the mail boat Butuan arrived with colored pennants flying. The commandant, thinking that distinguished visitor was on board dressing in his gala uniform, rendered the town folks to assemble at the shore and hired a brass band. It was a happy and pleasant surprise when they found that the ticket they bought won second prize of amounting 20,000 in the government-owned Manila lottery. Of his share, 6,000, Rizal gave his father 2,200 to his friend in Hong Kong, Jose Maria Basa, who was known as a patriot, hero, smuggler, and a friend of Jose Rizal. The rest of Rizal's money was invested in agricultural lands along the coast of the Lizay, a kilometer away from Dapitan. The land name was Casa Cuadra, Casa de Salud, and Casa Redonda, and if you want to visit it, it is located in Rizal Shrine in Dapitan City now. To conclude, if I were to choose a person or character in this event that will surely influence young people us, it would be Captain Ricardo. It would be Captain Ricardo Carnicero, because he became Rizal's guardian and friend all at once, and he even freely allows Rizal to have his freedom when he's in his house. Their friendship was incomparable to the point that even Rizal has flaws and issues, Captain Carnicero still accepts and even offers his house for him. We can get a lesson from Captain Ricardo Carnicero through his character, who is very loyal and trustworthy to his friend, and that no matter who you are and where you came from, that doesn't stop him from being friends with Dr. Jose Rizal. That's all. I will be ending our discussion by a quote of Rizal about education, where he said that without education and liberty, which are the soil and the son of man, no reform is possible, no measure can give the result desired.